All right, man, you know what to do. Just like you're throwing it out there, don't think about anything different, okay, buddy? Only thing you're doing, you set up, just stare at the mitt the whole time, step and throw it hard. Don't think about anything else. Hey, just like you're playing catch. Yes, just like that, every time.
You news on Whitworth?
Yeah, this is news that come out. He just tweeted it. Steve Weiss is tweeting about it. Everyone at the NFL Network is Andrew Whitworth apparently coming back for another year to be with the LA Rams.
They got to the playoffs that one year, then they made it to the Super Bowl. It seems like the next thing in line for them is to win it. At least that's what he's telling himself.
They give to Gurley. Huge lane middle. The 25 breaks left. 15-10. Gurley the touchdown. What a job by the offensive line. A huge crease right down the middle of the field.
Best lineman in the world right here.
We're excited he's coming back. You know, that's one of the things I really thought he wouldn't, and then he decided to, and he asked how I felt about it, and I said, you know what, I know how to do this. This is something we know how to do. We've done this 13 years. We can do it another year, or however much longer you want to play. So having said that, being able to do this kind of thing with the kids and come to the baseball games and let it be about them and their sports for a little bit is really fun for us.
Good job. Let's go. We're batting. Let's go. Do you feel good about it? Just throw it, okay? Just work on what you're just doing. You don't have to do anything else, buddy. Can't wait to watch you do it, buddy. We're out here for Michael and Drew's baseball team, the Blue Jays. They're playing in the Pinto League here in Westlake Baseball, so this is our week every week. Last year they wanted to do something to play a sport, and that was the first time we let them play baseball, and so this is their second year, so they're still coming around trying to figure it all out. Run, Mike, run! Run, Mike, run. Good job, buddy.
I think you realize in the game of football there's a lot of wonderful things about it, but some of it is we're gone a lot and we're traveling a lot, we're meeting a lot. So, you know, you miss some things during the year that you just can't get away for. And so during the off season, to really be able to make it about them and the girls and my wife and the family, it's just you love moments like this, just to come out here and see them having fun and kind of live through them a little bit. It's exciting to see the joy they have coming out here and playing ball.
Blue Jays on 3. Somebody say 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, Blue Jays!
All right, hustle out. Let's go. Golf ride, man. You know, you got to ride in style a little bit every now and then. I'm not a fancy car guy, so I had to get the fancy golf car. You know, there's always a little R&B usually. There's usually some version of R&B in there. So depends on the day. It's a pretty day, so we're just kind of, you know, hanging out, vibing a little bit. Currently, has Jared made the...
He's on there twice. Remember, because his feelings got hurt?
That's right. So Jared's actually on the fridge twice. Yeah, Jared got all upset because he wasn't on the refrigerator and Higbee was. And so Jared got some pictures added.
Oh, let me go. Oh.
You all colorful today.
Well, I think first and foremost is family, right? So making sure that my wife and the kids and everyone was just on board. And once I realized they were committed, and then next was, like I said, my desire. Because it's going to be hard. I mean, it's not going to be easy to play NFL football at 38. But you know what? It's exciting, man, and that's what I look forward to is that challenge.
Got this as a gift from a friend back in Louisiana yesterday. Nice. How cool is that? Pretty neat, yeah.
You know, I was lucky enough to be around the guy Jerry Rice and Tim Brown. And you have to tell veteran players that are that good 3 times that they can't play anymore. And it's going to be us, and it's going to be another team. It's going to be one more team that looks at him and says, listen, you can't play anymore. Your body won't hold up. But with Andrew Whitworth, his body is holding up. We thought it could be his last year, but it sure didn't look like it as the end of the season went and how fresh he looked in the playoffs and then the Super Bowl that we're happy to have him back.
The offensive line does not get a lot of attention, right? You tweeted, quote, the lanes that the Rams OL are creating are ridiculous. You can literally bird box challenge your way into the end zone. Great vision by the backs and a great push by the OL. So what were you seeing from LA's line that impressed you so much?
The lanes are there. The offensive line are sustaining blocks, and they have tremendous push.
even though we're in 3 wide receivers where someone might want to say it's a finesse offense, when you watch the tape, you really realize how physical up front, how physical our receivers, and 11 guys as a whole.
Yeah. Hey, listen, that was gets that free safety was in the A gap. We pushed to the nickel, and we got the nickel with Mike. If he gets the free in corners, the free's made the tackle. It's a touchdown.
To continue our success that we've had, we have to continue to grow. And what does that mean? Well, we're changing a couple linemen up front. And when you're talking about Joe Noteboom and Brian Allen, you know, that's two physical young players who have had the ability to sit and learn from great players like John Sullivan and Roger Saffold, absorbing the veteran knowledge that those two have and how they play and how they prepare. And I think it's gotten these 2 young guys ready to go because they saw such a good example.
Put the goalie on. I'd say I loved hockey before football just because I played it before. I was playing hockey since about kindergarten, so didn't start football until about 5th grade. Played all sports, but hockey's the one for some reason stuck, and you know, I've loved it ever since then. Being an O-lineman and from Texas, it's kind of, you know, double surprise for them. People are like, you know, don't really think hockey's played much in Texas, but it really is. Right here, we got a goalie, pretty small, but he has holes in him. 5 spots you want to hit, 5 hole, down low, up high, top right corners. Just helps with your aim. I play defense, which means block shots, try to stop the puck, help your goalie out as much as you can. Defense is kind of like O-line, actually. Offense is breaking out of the zone. You kind of got a mirror, skating backwards. Takeaway lanes, kind of like tackle. I think it helped me a lot with my footwork, foot speed, and keeping your lower body conditioned. During the season, you don't really have much time, but you know, take the time you have off just to get away from football. You know, you wake up about 6, 7, leave about 6 p.m. Just get away from it and then go back the next day and focus only on football and get the most out of it when you're there. It's hard not to kind of stay back and watching those veterans and observe how they do things. And, you know, that's been one of the best things here so far is just having them, you know, guide me along the way, having that redshirt year to kind of watch those guys and see exactly how they do things on and off the field. What's up?
Doing good?
Yeah.
Doing good?
Good cardio.
Good cardio? Let me tell you something, Sam. Hey, bro, tell this man they don't need to put no mic on this guy. This man don't say 2 words. The O-line room, they actually count his words every week. How many words he says a week. They said the most he got to was like 10 words in 1 week.
Y'all are rough.
Stop it.
If Joe Noteboom called me right now and didn't tell me who it was, I might not recognize his voice. That's how little he talks. But anytime that anyone asked him a question in those meetings, he knew the answer. He knew how to do it, what to do. And as a rookie, to have that much attention to detail, that says a lot about Joe.
Coming out of high school, I was just trying to get a college offer, you know, working my butt off to do that. And then probably about junior year of college, I kind of knew the NFL was a possibility.
Joseph Noteboom with a big block in the front, you're right back in it.
That's probably the hardest I've ever worked that offseason coming into my senior year. So, you know, scouts started telling me that they're interested, so gave 100% effort in every game of the season, and then obviously worked out.
With the 89th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Joseph Noteboom.
Joe Noteboom played left tackle at TCU, was drafted as a tackle prospect. But what we prefer to do in our offense and at this organization is move our offensive linemen around if they're not a starter, because you dress 7 guys on game day. So you need somebody that can back up both tackles. Maybe the backup center can be the backup guard as well. And Joe showed that ability that we feel like he can go in at left guard and hold his own.
Joe and Jamil. Just, you're both doing the same thing and you're all lost together. Having those guys there, we go through different problems. We can, help each other and figure them out together, and I think that's made us closer and we'll be better for it, having done it together instead of being alone. Well, I'm here in Tempe. This is where I worked out last year for the Combine. It's a good place in the off-season to come and focus on myself and really just focus on football, just be on my own and get ready for the upcoming season. I've always been kind of a delusional little kid. I've always told myself that I was going to do this, and people would always say everyone thinks that it doesn't happen for everybody, but I've always kind of lied to myself until it happened. Should I come up to my toes or no? Yeah. Freshman year of high school, I got my first scholarship offer, so I knew that I'd have the opportunity to continue playing, and at that point it didn't make me cocky or anything like that. It made me want to work harder and get better so I would be able to play when that time came. And having an older brother and seeing him go through it and do that, I always wanted to be like him, and I had enough talent to get to that level, and that eventually propelled me to where I am now.
His brothers, Jack, his older brother, these were some of my favorite centers to watch, as college football players. They were short. The three brothers all played Michigan State center, wrestling backgrounds. They're just different cats, and it shows up on the field.
And 165 yards, a new career high for L.J. Scott.
Did you see 65, Brian Allen, the scene? That was a thing of beauty, him pulling out there leading that play.
Hello.
Hey, Brian.
How's it going?
This is Les Snead, Los Angeles Rams. Do you want to be an LA Ram?
Oh, yeah.
For me, it's, everything you could ask for in a rookie year, obviously. I didn't play a lot, as you guys know, but at the same point, I'm not here to be a backup. That's obviously the goal. I want to play, and I want to play at a high level. I'm excited for the opportunity that's in front of me, and I'm really just excited to be able to, show what I learned this whole last year.
The way we do things doesn't mean it's the right way, it doesn't mean it's the wrong way. Every team's different. It's based on circumstance, it's based on market, it's based on ownership. But going back to Les's, you got to draft and develop. If you don't have those guys to pay, you got to pay somebody. And if you have to pay somebody, you might be on NFL Network with some egregious deal. So hopefully we can stay off of the network on free agent frenzy the next few years. We did a salary cap 101 for our writers here in Los Angeles just to get a better understanding for them of what's involved in the salary cap. It's not this mysterious thing. It's actually not too bad once you get to understand it. In the NFL, our contracts are essentially week to week, right? It's $4.95 over 17 weeks. So a week they're on the roster, they'll get 1/17th. If they're off the next week, they get 0.
How about the Rams as they try to get back to the big game? Look at the names that they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with. Look, C.J. Anderson, Dante Fowler.
It is fun. I mean, you get to work in the NFL, you get to be around the game every day, and that's a dream come true certainly for me, but for a lot of people. But it is a business.
We have news, Steve, first reported by ESPN. We can now confirm as well that the Rams are releasing Mark Barron.
But let's say that they lose out on Ndamukong Suh, which they're expecting. They expect the market to be too rich for him. The Rams do want to clear up a little cash space, which is why they're not using the tag, and they're going to allow several of those players that we just saw to test the free agency market.
There's a human element to this, whether it's with the players, the coaches, but at the same time, we're also running a business, and our goal is to be as successful on the field and off the field as possible.
Establishing a brand is very important, from the owner to the GM to the coach, in sports, out of sports. The LA Rams have not been in this city for a full 3 years yet, and they've already established their brand. They are officially the glamour franchise in the NFL. Stars are absolutely welcome here.
People have taken note, and certainly players are excited about where this team is, but also where we're headed. And I think that makes my job a lot easier when people want to be here, and just seeing it come to life has been pretty awesome.
When everything happened in Baltimore and you look at where you want to go, what are the teams that need a safety, and the Rams were the top of the list. I mean, this team's on the verge of greatness. Feels like it's a perfect place for me. Then, let's just get it done.
How excited are you to work with Sean McVay?
I mean, I think as a quarterback, there's not really anybody else you'd rather be around if you have your pick. The effort and intensity level that they play at speaks to the type of head coach he is and how he gets the guys going.
I can't leave this place. Having won a Super Bowl myself, I think that experience in its own is enticing to get back to. To now be a part of a team who was in the Super Bowl last year and only came up a few points short is encouraging, because it shows where this organization is from a football standpoint and where they're going, and so I'm happy to be a part of that.
Here, get together. Look this way, please. This time last year, we were a little bit more involved in the free agency period, and then from there, we really wanted to focus on taking care of our own. Once you get through this free agent frenzy and all that kind of stuff, I think the dust settles and we kind of figure out where can we get better. Where do we go from here? But, we'll immediately start looking ahead once we get through this period.
The beauty of Coach McVay and this program is that we really spend a lot of time focused on the process. And the process was to have a game plan, to try to execute the game plan. And that happened in most games, and it didn't happen in the last one.
I think the biggest thing I've learned in sports is, you learn from your losses, and if you approach it the right way, I mean, it's going to be a blessing down the road. So, building a legacy for me would be, being known as a team player, a guy that came to work every day with 100% effort, just kind of, being the best I can be at my position to help the team.
If I can stay healthy for the very first game, that'll be my 200th NFL football game. So this is the most desire and passion I've had to play in my 14 years. I mean, I can't wait for it.
We understand what we can do better and what we need to do the next time. So the process to get to that point is really what drives us.